Hello and welcome to Saturday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where today we're going to be doing something as a little tribute to a YouTube channel that we admire very much, and that is, of course, Numberphile. Many of you have already seen that somehow or other Brady Harron, who runs the channel, decided to do a couple of sudoku videos. And featured us. So if you haven't heard my explanation of the Fistimofel ring before, or you haven't seen my sideways profile, which seems to be attracting a lot of a lot of comments, you can see those things in Numberphile's most recent video. So massive thanks to Brady. He is exactly as you might expect, charming bloke, and a lot of fun to talk to. So yeah, we achieved one of our small ambitions, this little channel about Sudoku variants. Yeah, somehow made its way onto Numberphile. It's fantastic. Anyway, we thought, therefore, we should do something that had a mathsy flavour today, and we've been recommended the puzzle on the screen by none other than Qodec. And Mark's had a look at it and says that it has maths behind it. It's called Reindeer, and it's by Kennet's dad, and it was made apparently as part of the Secret Santa, which happened on the Discord server over Christmas time, and it was made as a present for Rocky Rower. Yeah, apparently it's absolutely brilliant. And the basic idea, I will explain the rules properly in a moment or two's time, but the basic idea is that each of these lines operates as both a zipper line and a region sum line. So if you know what the rules are behind zippers and region sums, you'll be good to go. But anyway, I will read you the rules in a moment or two. There are other things I'd like to tell you about. First, I'm going to start by mentioning something quite incredible, which is that our book, Cracking the Cryptic's Greatest Hits Volume 2, has been arriving. Lots and lots of you have been tweeting this to us. I do have a picture. Here you go. Here's one such tweet. There you can see there's the original book, there's the new book, there's some of the accoutrement that accompanies the new book. We've had bobbins, cushion covers tweeted at us, and this is great. Obviously, we are at the whims of global shipping when it comes to, I mean, the book's been ready for ages, but we have to allow the ships to sail and the airplanes to deliver, etc. But they are now arriving en masse, so this is great news. We hope you enjoy the book. It's been an absolute treat for us to create it, and there's lots and lots of interesting new stuff in there, including lots and lots of bonus puzzles. The book's still available. Obviously, you'll have to wait for delivery, but I'll try and remember to put a link on the screen in case anybody is new to the channel and doesn't know about the book and thinks they might like to get a copy. Other than that, the only other thing to mention is what's going on over on Patreon at the moment, where we've got all the fun of the fair. Our brand new Sudoku competition runs until the 20th. And in fact tonight, it is tonight. Yes, it's tonight. So if you watch this video and you want more Cracking the Cryptic, then I am releasing this evening my solve of this puzzle over on Patreon, COASTER NURIKABE by the Cogito. This is a brilliant puzzle, but as you can probably see from the question marks, there's not a lot to go on. It's a 2.5 hour video of me doing battle with a beastie, and yeah, it's that's something that we've started to do as an extra present every month for you guys who support us over on Patreon. Long solves of very, very, very hard puzzles. So that's coming out tonight. Other than that, no. Oh yeah, no, birthday. I mustn't forget. Let me look. And it is the birthday today of Sigbjørn over there in Norway. And Sigbjørn, how do I know this? Is because your friend Clara wrote to us, and I think the two of you met on a student exchange, and she wanted to wish you a very happy birthday, and I do too. So happy birthday. I hope you have chocolate cake today and have a wonderful celebration. Now, let me read you the rules of Kennet's dad's puzzle, Reindeer. They are as follows. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply, so the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. Along any individual line, each line segment within a different 3x3 box must sum to the same total. Different lines may have different totals. So let's stop there and check we understand that. So this is the sort of region sum line rule. What that's saying is that digit, I'll explain why this is all the case in a moment, but let's look at this line here. Now you can see this red line has a bit of itself within box 2, just this cell here. So let's say that this was 8. If this was 8, then we would know that the blue digits had to add up to 8 because they are a line segment within box 1 for this line, and the line segment within box 4 for this line is those 2 yellow digits. So the blue digits would add up to the same as the yellow digits would add up to the green digit. So that's how, let's do another line just to make sure we understand. Let's do this line. So those 3 add up to those 2, add up to those 2. Something like that is how it would work. A funny squeaky noise I can hear. Hopefully that won't come out on the microphone. Anyway, and different lines may have different totals. So if this was 8, that doesn't have to be 8. Oh no, not that. No, if that's 8, these two don't have to add up to 8. These could add up to, I don't know, 15 or something. They could add up to quite a lot, couldn't they? Because yeah, they could, I think, in fact, the maximum I'm going to claim is 15. So those two could add up to 15. And that's the way I've got that is I've noticed the maximum sum of those digits would be 30, wouldn't it? And if they were 30, but each of these individually has to sum up to the same number, then 30 divided by 2 is 15. So I apologise if that does turn out to be the region sum total for this line. It was just by luck. It was serendipitous. Okay. And then, right, so now there's the zipper rule. So it says, additionally, along all these same lines, digits an equal distance from the centre of the line sum to the same total. For odd length lines, the total is the digit in the centre of the line. So how does that work? Let's have a look. So let's use this line again. So this is saying that for this line, digits an equal distance from this centre add up to the same number. So those two add up to the same, those two add up to the same, those two add up to the same. And because this is an odd length line, the middle digit is what these purples add up to, is what these yellows add up to, is what these blues add up to. Now let's find an even length line. I think maybe this might be the only one, I'm not sure. So on this line, how does it work for this line? So these two have the same total as these two. I think that's how it must work. But on the even length line, you don't know what the total is, or at least that isn't revealed in the grid, whereas it would be for this line. And then there's one more rule which says, oh no, it just says, in other words, the lines in this puzzle are simultaneously region sum and zipper lines. So that's all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, as the clock chimes, I get to play. Let's get cracking. I might start down here, actually. This looks like it's got the most things going on. I'm not sure if it is the longest line. Length 7. It is the longest line, actually. So this is probably where we're meant to start. So let's think about it. What we know about this line is that the digits on the line are a multiple of 4 and a multiple of 3. Right, so the digits on this line are a multiple of 12. That feels like it might be important. So how am I seeing that? By the way, hopefully that's fairly clear. Because of the region sum rule, so because these digits add up to the same as those digits add up to the same as those digits, obviously let's call this green section x, then the line overall adds up to 3x. But because of the zipper totals, the line also adds up to 4y, where y is the digit in this cell. So simultaneously, all of the digits on because if this is y, those two are y, those two are y, and those two are y. Hopefully that's clear. But so simultaneously, all of the digits on this line add up to 3 times a number and 4 times a number. In other words, the digits on the line must add up to 12 times a number. Now, if that digit is 12, what does that mean? 12 feels like it. No, 12 is impossible. 12 is impossible because these digits here, sorry, my phone is buzzing at me. These digits must add up to at least 10, mustn't they? If these were 1, 2, 3, and 4, they would add up to 10, which is the least they could add up to. And then those digits must add up to at least 6 if they were 1, 2, and 3. So it's not possible to keep this line down to only 12 overall. Now, if it was 24, then each segment from a region sum perspective would add up to 8. Yes, okay, well that's quite interesting. So you could actually start to fill this line in. So what I'm seeing now is that if this line adds up to 24, then from a zipper perspective, we know the line adds up to 4 times y, where y is the digit in this cell. So that's a 6. So if this line adds up to 24, this is a 6. But in this box, this adds up to 8, doesn't it? Because the line also adds up to 3z, where z would have to be 8. So this would be a 2, and that would be a 4. Because I'm thinking of zipper logic. And now these two squares would have to add up to 4 as well, because this line segment from a region sum line adds up to 8 overall. So this is a 1, 3 pair. And these two squares add up to 8 as well, but we've got to zipperize them. So these add up. Oh, so we're going to get double 3 on the line if this is right. This might not be right, by the way, but this is just me trying to understand what this is doing. Yeah, this is going to be a 3, 5 pair, because the 1 is going to be opposite 5 in one of these positions. So that's very cool. So if this line adds up to 24 overall, you can almost fill it all in. Now, but the problem is I don't... Well, let's just see whether we can find another option that works for this line. So if we went up to 24, so we need multiples of 12. So if we go up to 36, then right, that's the most we could go up to, because the line is, we know that the line is 4 times this number, which would have to be 9. So we can't go up beyond 36 because we can't put more than 9 in here. Now, if we're at 36, we know the line 3 times the line, or 3 times this value, is the sort of region sum total. So this would be 12. So this would be 3. This would be 6. And then these would add up to... what would these add up to? These would add up to 6. And these would add up to 12. That feels much more open-ended, actually, because there are lots of there are 2 ways of these 2 digits adding up to 6. They could be 1, 5 or 2, 4. And I don't think either of those are ruled out from here. Oh, that's very distressing then. So okay, so all I actually know is that this digit is 6 or 9. But I do know, I can get these 2 down, can't I, for sure. So if that 2 opposite 4 was one option, 3 opposite 6 was the other option. So the only deduction I'm seeing as a result of that is that 6 is in one of these 2 squares, which means that is not a 6. That cannot be important, can it? Does it matter for this line? Is this somehow important? I think it's not going to be, because this line is so much less constrained than this one. So this line, we know it adds up to a multiple of 2 because it's got 2 lines. It's got 1 line segment in box 8 and 1 line segment that must add up to the same number in box 7. So it's a multiple of 2, and it's a multiple of 3 because it's an odd length zipper. And what we're also, I suppose, supposed to appreciate is that each of these colours adds up to the same number by zipper logic. So this line adds up to a multiple of 6 altogether. Now, but that's got a lot more flexibility than a line that adds up to 12, because it could add up to 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. You could easily get up beyond 30. No, you can't. No, actually I'm wrong, aren't I? Because the line adds up to 3 times this number, and this number can't be greater than 9. Hang on. 3 times. Yeah, no, okay, this is even. Right. That's so straightforward. Why can't I see that immediately? Don't know. Brain failure. Yeah, this is even. Because if it's odd, the line overall is adding up to 3 times. 3 is an odd number. It's adding up to 3 times an odd number, which is an odd number. But we know because the line could be expressed algebraically as 2 times x, with this being x and that being x, that it should add up to an even number. So this is even. It can't be 2, can it? No, there's no way it can be 2, because we can put double 1 there, but then we can't put double 1 again there. So it's at least 4. It's 4, 6, or 8. Now if it's 4, the line overall adds up to 3 lots of 4, which is 12. And right, that doesn't work. That's beautiful. Right, this is very clever, by the way. This can't work, because if this is a 4 and the line therefore adds up to 12 overall by zipper logic, each region sum piece has to add up to 12 divided by 2, which is 6. Now I can't make those 3 digits add up to 6 because these can't be the same number. So this is not 4. This is 6 or 8. Oh, for goodness sake. Okay. And that's it. It's beautiful. It's far more brilliant than I'd appreciated. Somehow, when I looked at, I saw that one of those 2 squares was a 6, and I said that digit can't be a 6, which is totally right. But that logic equally applies to that square. That is gorgeous. So because one of these is a 6, this can't be a 6, because it would wipe 6 out of these 2 squares. This would be a 4, this would be a 9, and now this square would need to be a 5, and it would add up to 14 here. And we can't make that work. I can't remember why that doesn't work, but it definitely doesn't. 14, 42 overall for the line. 42 is not a multiple of 4, yeah, that's why. So this is total nonsense. We've got to go back. We've got to say this can't be 6. So this is 8, which doesn't do any immediate damage to this. But now, presumably, we can work things out. What does that mean? So this line adds up to 24, 3 times 8, because these add up to 8 and these add up to 8. But each region sum strand is therefore 24 divided by 2, which is 12. And to make those 3 add up to 12, this has got to be a 1-3 pair. And they must be opposite a 5-7 pair, because each individual sort of pairing has to add up to 8. Now, we can't put 1 or 3 in these cells. Now, which does that affect anything? If this was 6, that was going to be 2, 4, 8, 24, 12, 8, 4. Yeah, that doesn't work, I don't think. So if this was 6 and this was 2 and this was 4, then the region sums total for this line is 8. So these have to add up to 8. They'd have to be 1, 3, 4, and they can't be. Right, this is great. So now this is 9, this is 3, this is 6. These two squares add up to 6 and then don't involve a 1. So they're a 2, 4 pair, which must be opposite 5, 7. So each individual bit adds up to 9. 5 and 7 add up to 12, which is right. That's perfect. That's perfect because we wanted each bit to add up to 12. So therefore, what are we saying next? Here is a funny point about this circle. This circle's this line's mathematics are the same as this line's mathematics. So there's a subtle difference in the shape of the line. This 2-cell sequence here is straight, whereas this 2-cell sequence is on a diagonal. But when we did the mathematics of this line, we didn't care about the exact shape of this within box 7. We just cared about the fact that the line added up to a multiple of 2 and a multiple of 3, and that is the same for this line. And that meant that that had to be even, and it had to be, and we worked out it couldn't be 4, because that would cause both of these to be 1, so that is 6 or 8. Now, if it was 6, what did that mean? So the line added up to 18. See, that would work, I think. Because if this is a 6, I think the line adds up to 18, which means each strand on the line adds up to 9, which would mean these could be a 1-2 pair. So that's option 1. If this is 8, if this is 8, we're in this world, aren't we? So this is a 1-3 pair. So this is either 1, 2, 3. It's either 1, 2 or it's 1, 3. There's definitely a 1 in one of these squares. Now what happens on the other end of the line? So if this is 8, this is going to be 5, 7 again, because this will be 1, 3. If this is 6, these two digits add up to 9. This is a 1, 2 pair. So these are a 5, 4 pair, I think. So this is either a 5, 4 pair, or what was the other option? It's a 5, 7 pair. So it's definitely got 5 in it. So, oh no, I thought that was going to do something sudoku-y for me. But it doesn't seem to want to. Okay. Maybe it is sudoku, actually. I'm just seeing I can do some pencil mark 9s. I don't know. What am I meant to do now? What was this? This was either... Oh, 5, 7. 5, 7, 5, 7. What is that doing something clever? It's putting 5s and 7s down here. Or this was 4, 5. There's definitely a 5 in one of these squares. Not sure. Or is it going to be... Is it going to be this line or this line? This line, this line is the same trick again, I think. That's 3 cells in one box, 2 in the other, and it's a length 5 line, so it adds up to a multiple of 3 and a multiple of 2. So it adds up to a multiple of 6, and the dot is in the same place, so this must be 6 or 8. We've got a 6, 8 pair in row 4 now, and we must have the same pencil. Oh, yeah, we have got the same pencil marks, but they don't. I thought for a moment they might align. but they don't actually seem to. So we must have a 1 in one of these, and this is either 5, 7 or 4, 5, and it's definitely got 5 in it. So 5 in row 1 has to be in one of these 3 squares now. I mean, the thought I'm having at this point is, how does this possibly resolve itself uniquely at this stage? Or not at this stage, but in the end. There must be some absolute magic that we can do with this line or this line. I don't like the look of this line at all. This sort of, I don't know, what would you call it? Pedally line. What are the digits I've not put in there? They are 5, 7 and 9, aren't they? 5, 7, 9. Right, so there's a 5, 7, 9 triple. That's not a 5 in row 9. That's not a 9. 5, 7. Oh, hang on. What's going on? Is that right? Does seem to be, doesn't it? It's a straightforward sudoku. Get a 5, 7 pair here, so I can place 5 in box 9. I don't think it's going to do me any good, mind you, but it is at least a digit. Now these squares, so we need 1, 7, 8, 9. Oh, where's 7? Where's 7 in? Oh, this is huge. Sorry, it's Sudoku. I shouldn't be surprised, should I? It's Sudoku. I was all prepped for my maths today, and it's Sudoku. That's a 7. So these squares are now a 4, 5 pair. Now that went with 6 on the line, didn't it? So these are a 1, 2 pair. I'm just going to check the mathematics of this line now. They add up to 9. They add up to 9. So that looks great. And each individual sort of pairing can be made to add up to 6, so that feels right. And 7 is in one of these squares. Oh, this being 6 means this must be 8. Now that means we haven't got 4 involved here, so we've got a 5, 7 pair, which must be opposite a 1, 3 pair. And these squares are 1, 8 and 9. That's not 8. This isn't 1. And not sure. I'm now very unsure about whether to focus on Sudoku or to focus on 8 is in one of these 2 squares, or whether to focus on line logic. 4 is in one of those 2 squares. By the fact there's a 4 in this domino. Can we do any better with this line? Or do we have to think about this line? Let's colour this line in. So that adds up to the same as these, adds up to the same as those. So this line is a multiple of 3 overall. But from a region sum perspective, it is in 3 different boxes, so we don't improve upon that in this case. So this is weird. Although this line goes into more boxes than this one and this one, its mathematical properties are less restrictive. I suppose apart from that digit, it has to be a single digit total. What does that matter really? These 2 digits. These add up to the same. Oh, hang on, this is doing my head in. Is it? If that, whatever that is. Oh, I see. Oh dear. Okay. Okay. This is very, very interesting. I love the fact that Kennet's dad has obviously given these lines quite a lot of thought, because this one, it's less restrictive in one way, but it has got an interesting property. And that property is that the sum of these digits is the same as the sum of these digits, is obviously the same as whatever this digit is. So, and we know this line is a multiple of 3. Imagine this line added up to 18. Maybe it's better if I do this with an example. If it adds up to 18 overall, then this would be a 6. This line would add up to 6, and this line would add up to 6. But simultaneously, because the zipper properties are the same, these two have to add up to 6, and these two have to add up to 6. In other words, those two cells add up to the same as these two cells, and they have a common digit here, which is that cell. When that means these two cells have to be the same number to make that work. And surely that must not work the other way round, which is to say these two cells add up to the same as this cell, or these two cells together, the common digit being this one. So these two cells are the same. So actually, so by sudoku, A and B go down here. Can A and B? Oh, can you? Well, you can't make A or B 9. Definitely not. This is superb. Right. This is absolutely huge. Right. So the question, because A and B are going down here, the question we now need to ask is this A or B? And I think the answer is no. Clearly 9 can't be can't be A or B, can it? Because if 9 was here, once we added on another digit to it, this digit would be a double-digit number, which it cannot be. So A or B is not 9. Could A or B be 8? No, because if one of these is... Well, actually, it's straightforward. How do I do it this way? In my brain, I was in love with the fact there was a 1 here. So one of these the lowest one of these digits would be 2, and 2 plus 8 is 10. I didn't just see there was an 8 there and rule it out that way, which is completely bonkers. It's completely bonkers. Anyway, there are many ways, therefore, to prove this is not A or B. So this is an A-B pair. Right, isn't that going to tell me where 9 is then? Down here, because if this was 9, we've got the same problem all over again, which we're not allowed to have. So we can get rid of 9 from here, which seems to mean, oh, hang on, why have I got 9? Why did I have 9 pencil marked into those squares? I've got no idea. That must be an anachronism. Okay, well, it couldn't be 9. Clearly 9 is up here, so we get an AB pair down here. So AB... well, what digits are they from? They're not very many different things, actually. I want to say, I hadn't appreciated this, but I want to say they've definitely got 2s and 4s in them as possibilities. 6. Oh, bother. Okay. By sudoku is how I'm seeing that. I've got 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, so they're not odd. They can't be 8, so they're from 2, 4, and 6. So they're very even in their nature. 2, 4, 6 are the options, which means this digit is even. Now this digit can't be 8, so the maximum size of this is 6. Well, it is 6 then. Yes, that's beautiful as well, isn't it? Because we're adding up even numbers to generate this total. Double green is even, double blue is even. So this is even, but we're adding up at least 2 plus 4 to get 6. And we can't use 8, so it must be 6. And now we can't put 6 on the lines. So we've got 2s and 4s, which means this is a 2-4 pair. Right, we can get rid of our AB pencil mark now. Now 3 is in one of those squares, along with 6, by the looks of things. So let's put that in. Pregnant pause while I try and work out if I can do better than that. This column now has got lots of digits in it, hasn't it? 6, 8, and 6 again. 6, 8, and 9. So that square is 6 or 9. And that top digit is 6, 8 or 9. 6 is in one of two places in column 5. 4 is common between these two squares and this domino, so 4 in row 1 has to be in one of those 3 squares. Now, what does that mean? That digit, where does that digit go in box 4? Well, it's got to go there. That gives me a 5, 7 pair in column 3. We might colour our 5s and 7s if we get very stuck, actually, because we have got a lot of those pairs in the grid now. Probably I'm also meant to think about this one, aren't I? I've got a horrible feeling that there's some sudoku staring me in the face as well. Oh, I thought I was going to get a 2, 4 pair there. No, I'm definitely not actually, but that digit is there. 4 in this box? No. I'm not sure. Okay, what's this line telling us? This line is telling us that the digits on it altogether are a multiple of 2, and we can see that in 2 different ways. We can see it because those 2 must add up to the same number, and those 2 must add up to the same number. So if that number's x, the line overall is 2x. But we've also got the situation where these 2 must add up to those 2 by region sum logic. So these 2, so yes, okay, so again it's a bit like this line, isn't it? Oh, it's a bit like this aspect. That's so weird. I feel, and I might be about to totally disprove what my brain is sort of implying to me, but I feel like the logic we did there transposes to this pedal-shaped line. Now let me see if we can just prove that. So what I'm thinking is that this digit, whatever this digit is, it has a partner here. So the 2 purples add up to a number. Let's call that number x. Therefore, these 2 digits add up to a number, which is also x. So the line total for this line is 2x, where x is the sum of the 2 purple digits. But the line is also, from a region sum line perspective, the sum of these 2 digits, well, the sum of these 2 digits is the same as the sum of those 2 digits. So if this is y, this is y. So the line is also 2y, where y is the sum of these. So whatever this digit is, those 2 digits must be the same, because we need to make sure that 2x equals 2y, if you see what I mean. X equals y. So where we said x was the purple, y was the vertical, for those 2 things to be the same, when this digit is common to both sums, these 2 digits have to be the same. And that must work the other way round by symmetry. So these 2 digits are the same number, A, and we'll call those B now, and we'll get rid of the A's and the B's that we had over here. Now, let's just prove that to ourselves using numbers, because that could be helpful, couldn't it? Just to absolutely make sure that we understand that. Let's imagine this line added up to 7. In other words, purple adds up to 7, and let's make this square well, let's ignore all pencil marks in the grid. Okay, I'm just going to make this a 4. And let's think about how the line would work. If this line was adding up to 7, this would be a 3. The line, that's adding up to 7, so the line overall adds up to 14. which means each region sum segment adds up to 7. Yeah, so it is very clear, isn't it, once you think about it like that. The only way it could work is like that, and these two are the same, and these two are the same. So our logic is correct. Now that means that B, look, is in one of those squares by Sudoku. Let's actually put that in. B is in one of these. Now, can we rule out any options for these squares? Okay, I can. B is not that one, because that's a 5 or a 7, and 5 and 7 look at B in column 7. So B is not that one. Can we get rid of this one? Don't think so. It's quite close, actually. I'm not sure. I don't think I can get rid of that one. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm going to come back and think about that. I'm just going to ask the question what this digit is. That digit by Sudoku is 1, 3, 6, 9, I think. But 3 and 9 wouldn't... Oh, actually, no, it's not 6 by Sudoku either. This is interesting, I think, because I can see that 3 and 9 are ruled out of being... this couldn't... If this was a 3 or a 9, it couldn't be B, because B sees 3 and 9 in this column. So I think B, which is those two digits, is now either 1, 2, or 4. Now, can we do any better? Oh, it's not 4, actually. 4 is here. Okay, B has come. B is 1 or 2 now. But that still doesn't tell us which of these cells it goes in. So these two, right, maybe now I need to change my colouring, actually, because when I'm looking at this, I'm not sort of appreciating that those two are the same and these two are the same. That feels a bit better. So one of these two is the light green digit. So if B was... How are we going to do this then? A has to go up there. But is A under some sort of pressure that I can't foresee? Not sure. Not sure. Let me think. Or is there a reason that 2 doesn't work? So if this was 2, this was 2, and this was 2, then we know that's 2, don't we? From our... Yeah, see, all my shading is all a bit up the swanny here. I think I'm going to change it, because what we actually learned before was that these two digits were the same, didn't we? So they need to have their own colour, and these two are the same, so they need to have their own colour. Let's make those red. That's what generates these two as being a red-blue pair. And if that digit is the same as B, so if these are 2s, that's a 2, and that's a 2. 2 is in one of those cells. It's an awful lot follows from that. But that might be fine. Bobbins. I think that's the technical term for what we need to do now. There's neither of these digits, neither of the... Oh, if we could resolve this, if this turned out to be a 1, that would give us B. Maybe I've got some Sudoku that will help me. Let's think about that for a second or two. Come on, Sudoku. Be kind. What does that mean? I don't know, and these are such low... Well, does it matter they're low? I don't think it does, really. These 2 digits under pressure. One, from a straightforward Sudoku perspective, let's look at A. A could be 1, 2, 4. It can't be 3, it can't be 5, 6. It sees this 6, sees the bottom A. It could be 8, I think. Unless there's some 8 looking at this that I can't see now. 1, 2, 4 or 8. But A... Ah, it's not 4, is it? Because 4 has evaporated we've used up the 2 4s in rows 2 and 3 already, so it's 1, 2 or 8. And if it's 2, then you've got to put 2 up there. That doesn't work. By Sudoku. Because this is a 2-4 pair, so it's not 2. So it's 1 or 8. Oh, this is so restricted now. Surely we can do this. Come on. How do we do this? Surely we can do it. So we know... Ah, I see. So we know that there's always a 1, don't we? Is that right, actually? That might be wrong. No, that's wrong. You could have a 2-8 pair with it adding up to 10. 2-8. 2-8. Yeah, that might be possible. I'm not sure. Okay. So we might have to do some colouring some other way. Or, I mean, I don't think there is any parity trick with this. I was wondering if I knew the parity of this, do I know the parity of that? I don't think I do. Might be wrong, but I can't, my brain isn't telling me that I know that. What could we do? Let's think about, I don't know where to look. If we could get, yeah, I mean, if we did know that this was a 1, everything would flow over here. It would do a disambiguation of our 2s and 4s. If that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. So, sorry, if this is obvious to everybody, I apologise. I'm not quite seeing it. 6, okay, oh right, so now I can do 6 in this box. Because it can't go on the line. Which gives me a 6 down here. Come on. Which gives me a 6 here and a 3 here. No, it's still not right. It's not quite going to see the right places. Oh, look. 3 is now in one of 2 places in box 1. It's close to cracking, isn't it? It's really close to cracking. This 3... Oh! No! It's not the right way round. I thought that was going to be the right way round. I thought this 3 was going to look up. Well, I thought this was going to be a 1 and look up there, but it doesn't. Oh, bother. Okay, but we can use the zipper property, can't we? So that's 7 and that's 5 now, because each sort of thing has to add up to 8 around the line. That 7 does a 5 here. Okay, which does a 5 here and a 7 here. That's all fine. That does a 5 in box 8 now, so we get a 7, 9 pair. We've got a lot of digits worked out in this row. 1, 2 and 4 to place. That can't be 4. So there's now 1, 2 pair in column 9. and we haven't placed 3, 8 and 9. So that's a naked single. That's an 8. And these two squares are a 3, 9 pair, please. Please. Well, they're not. They don't include 8 anymore. So Sudoku is starting to help us here. That's 8, that's 4. That's 4, that's 2. That's 2, that's 4. And that's done it. That's beautiful. Because now 2 is looking at this digit. So that is a 1. And that means these are 8. Good grief. That's a 1 by Sudoku. So that's a 9. That's an 8. That's a 1. Oh, this is a 9. It sees 6 and 8 in these positions. So that's a 6. So that's a 6. That's an 8 by Sudoku. So there's 4 8s looking at the central box. Okay, now I'm hopeful. 8 in box 1 can be placed. 3 looks like it wants to be placed in box 1. 6 can be placed in box 1. That must be all the 6s. I feel like I've written in a whole host of 6s. Okay, so these squares are now 7 and 9, which is resolved, which gives us a 9 and a 3. Okay, and oh, and because these are resolved, we can do the zipper tactics on this line at the bottom. 7, that must be with 2, that must be with 4. Okay, there's a 4 in one of those squares. And right, what else can we do with this? This square is a 2 or a 4 apparently. So there's a 1, 2, 4 triple in column 8. So we need to place 3s, 7s and 9s in, which means that digit is now obviously known. That's a 2. So we just need this zipper line disambiguated. Okay, we've got a 7 at the top here because it sees 3, 9. So now those digits are known. They're 2, 4, 5, and that's a 2 in the middle because it sees a 4, 5 pair. So these digits are 3, 7, 9. That seems not resolved. Not sure. This digit is a 3 or a 7. So that digit is that. These two digits are the same, aren't they? Okay. And for our next deduction, we will say what? Oh, I don't know. We might have to colour, I don't know, 2s and 4s or something. I would be very prepared to believe that is necessary around now. What about, well, let's label up row 6. I mean, I can see this is 2 or 4 now. Or maybe row 5, 1, 2, 3 and 9. That's a 2 or a 9 only. 1, 3, 9. So 2 is in one of those squares. These two digits are the same. Ah. Have we used up all the lines? Or everything we know about some of the lines already? I think we have, actually. I think we have. Can I get a 3 to look into this box? That would be useful, wouldn't it? Or... okay, I'm going to look at these digits now. 1, 3... what is it? 1, 3, 7, obviously, but it's got to be something else as well. 5. Okay, so this square's not 3 or 1. That's 5 or 7, apparently. That feels like it might matter. I feel like it's surprising because we've done so much work with 5s and 7s. Okay, so we arrive at this juncture, And for our next trick, we will ask where's 4? Oh, there's this 4. That's it. Oh, we've done it. 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 3. This is now 9. That's therefore 2. That does the 9 and the 7 at the bottom. And, okay, let's do, that's now 3. So that's 3, that's 9. These are, that's 3 in the column. This is now 9, this is 7, that's 5. Now let's check. Yeah, that's great, isn't it? 8 is the sum of 1 and 7, it's the sum of 5 and 3. We can get, this is a 5 naked single, that's a 7, that's a 5, that's a 4. And we've got to put 4 in here, 1 in here. And don't tell me this is, no, it's fine, isn't it? It's going to resolve. 2, 4, 4, 1. Beautiful. Beautiful. That is brilliant. One person. I suppose if it's Secret Santa, maybe not many people have looked at it. That was really, really interesting. Each of the lines, well, apart from, no, it was odd, wasn't it? I was about to say they all did different things. They all had, these 3 had quite similar properties. These 3, oh, hang on, I didn't mean to do that. Let's go back. I was going to label them grey. Those 3 had a similar property, which is that their central digit had to be even and had to be 6 or 8, and then had sort of certain pairings that could go on either side of it. But this one was really interesting, the way those digits were forced to be the same. This one had that same property, which was weird, and this one, I loved the fact that this had, one of those had to be 6, and that could see that. Once I appreciated the importance of that, it was a very beautiful thing to notice. That's a quality puzzle. Kennet's dad, take a bow. Kennet, you should be very proud of your father. That is a really, really interesting puzzle. Qodec, thank you for recommending that. Rocky Rower, what a lovely Christmas present. Let me know in the comments how you got on with this one. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.